right, a view from the core. Everybody know what that is? I mean, this is this is the original copy of it from back when I first started doing arrowheads and stuff. I went to this to listen to the presentations. This is a compilation, a tome. Is that the correct pronunciation of it? It's like 500 pages. Most of these people, I assume, presented at the conference. It was held up through the Christopher Hotel or Inn or whatever it was. So I hijacked the title. And this is an actual view from the core. This is a view from Hopeton. Most of the stuff you're going to see here tonight are sunrises and sunsets and some moons and other things from Hopeton. There's a few things from Seip and maybe Hopewell. So let's move on. Mostly it's going to be a picture show. So it's going to be some jibber jabber and then some pictures and jibber jabber. And I'll try not to go too fast because I'm kind of excited and I haven't eaten. Well, that's what I just explained. There's the book, there's the cover of the book. I think that was found over at Newark, if I remember, somewhere on one of those sites that's probably all gone now. So again, I hijacked the title, 500 pages. It's for sale out here in the lobby if anybody wants one. What is the cost of that? And it was like 30 bucks back in the day. I don't know if this, do I have to, if I hit the button again, will it play? Like, this is a video.
I don't know.
It's a good mix here.
Some of this is just me. This is the introduction to me and stupid things I do.
There's a sand and iron in there.
Dr. Bowen made me climb up here to look at cement rock.
It was definitely hard.
This is a GoPro, so, you know, we're like,
I can break this by hand, but the stuff down
everything
the
looks
road,
closer.
This is pretty thin.
Flat earthers use this to debunk the
It's
round earth.
Pretty cool. I can get off here before I stroke.
So that's where I was up there.
My goodness.
Wow.
This is just a winter adventure. Fun to see the ice. The river had dropped about a foot, so some of it cracked, which was kind of fun.
It's the biggest part of this Ripley area, where all the ice is not.
This is my favorite part. Every time I'm up there, the trains come by, and I just want to reach out and touch them, but I don't. This is my favorite spot. I think I helped tell you that. Happy Valentine's Day from the banks of the mighty Scioto. This is one of my favorite spots. Really quiet. We got a few ducks today. The riffles kind of cover up the traffic noise that you can hear sometimes in the distance. But it's just a beautiful spot. So we're enjoying mini spring, which is going to go on for the next week, which is, February's almost over after that. I live through another winter, maybe. Maybe. There goes some ducks right there. All right, so we're going to talk about Hopeton, and for some reason Squire and Davis put this in the book sideways, which irks me, and so I had to spin it. But you guys are all familiar with this. I don't think I have to go over these things. You probably recognize most of them. That's Chillicothe, harness below it, Hopewell, which is an odd-shaped one, Baum at the bottom, High Banks, and Seip. Seip's really cool. I just don't go out there enough. And we've been groomed and indoctrinated by those images that we just saw, that these things are all regular polygons. I will say they make beautiful circles. Whoever made the circle is really good. But this is High Bank, and you can see that calling that the octagon is kind of a stretch. The one down here at the bottom is the one at Newark that's been rebuilt, and we attribute all kinds of fantastic alignments to that. But these things aren't beautiful regular things, and they were created to align with things that they saw in nature. And I don't know if they adapted them after they built them, or they added things, cut holes in them, or whatever. I mean, out there at High Banks, this one wall looks like one wall instead of two walls, and the one at the bottom kind of curves around, the bottom left kind of curves around into the other wall. So they're not real regular. Here's Hopeton, my favorite. I visit all the time. It's obviously not a square like Squire and Davis like us to believe. It's got a big round side on it. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, that it could represent something else. Those are, to me, like pictographs over there. This is what I wish it looked like today, so you could actually see stuff out there. I think this is back when the park was, or who acquired it first? Did the state get it, or was it did the federal government buy this? Nobody knows? Was it always a federal?
Yeah, I think, yes. Hopeton was originally purchased by the Park Service.
All right. Well, this is what it looked like, I guess, when they were getting ready to
Like
buy
late
it.
1980s, it would have looked like that.
Right. Look how much the trees, well, you'll see that in upcoming slides, how many, along that railroad, it's all trees now. You can hardly even see up in like these gaps and stuff when you're looking from back here. And you can see how the railroad has leveled it all out. So there's all kinds of little dips and impressions in there that would help you see some of these alignments that we're going to talk about. So with all these alignments and holes and stuff like that, you can get deep into the woods and making things up and making things that look like maybe this is an alignment, maybe that's an alignment. These are ones where I was just trying to figure some stuff out, and I just keep putting arrows on there. They're not really probably alignments, especially the one over on the bottom right. You can see, you can make billions of alignments. There's so many holes, it's like infinite. And this is just for sunrises. I'm not a sunset guy. Because sunset, you see the sun go across, and all of a sudden it disappears over there. When you go out there for a sunrise, it's anticipation. The sky's doing crazy, wacky things like you saw at the beginning. All those slides were sunrises. And generally, the sky is the most beautiful on the days when the sun doesn't show up. If you get a long cloud deck going into West Virginia, and the sun just illuminates that, but by the time the sun comes up, it has transcended the cloud deck, and we don't see the sun on those days. But the point is, deep into the weeds, a lot of people claim a lot of stuff that maybe isn't true for these things. And I might claim some stuff tonight that might not be true, for that matter. There would be some conspiracy. This is my ideas. These are thoughts that I think when I'm out there. This is not law or anything like that. None of these things can we prove. None of it. It's all conjecture. So the first ones we're going to talk about, which are the two major ones. I'm only going to show you like 3 alignments here in general. So we just left the 58, the summer standstill. I won't use the term solstice. That wasn't a thing for Hopewell guys. I won't use the term equinox. I mean, I may say it in reference here in a minute. But those are not Hopewell things. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, not a Hopewell thing. Hours, minutes, seconds, it's not a Hopewell thing. They didn't have that. Those are all modern constructs. So I don't know what they were doing. I don't read too much ethnographic stuff. But those are all our terms. So I say throw those away. I'm talking about standstill. So 58 is the summer one, we just left. 120 is the winter one. And that's where these exist. We have the 58 is over there on the, I call it the tail of Sugarloaf, or the flank of Sugarloaf on the north side. And down here at 120, it's between Bunker Hill and Mount Ives. And Mount Ives is a saddleback. So it's going to have 2 little bumps there. When you see these photos, those are both Bunker Hill or Mount Ives. Anybody a bicyclist can go up there and ride their bicycle on the bike trails? There's a big bike park over there where you can, all those. Rocky Knob is really cool. There's fossils up on top of Rocky Knob. Want to go up there and get some? No? So for the summer standstill, I was mostly concerned with the bottom 2 until this year. Those were the ones I photographed most, and that's what I thought it had to be one of these 2, but now the top one is definitely a summer alignment through these walls. We're going to see that in a minute. This is the standstill. The standstill's in red. That's how many days it's in this notch. It's waffling around, maybe a fraction of a degree, but you got 21 days to go out there and see it. You don't need to go there on the 21st of December to see this. The blue part, it's at 119. And I would challenge anybody to go out there and tell me there's a difference, visually for you, between 119 and 120. Or, I'm sorry, I'm going off into the wrong rise. This is at 58 and 59. This is the summer one. I can't see it, I have the wrong glasses on. So these are all 59s in the blue. So for 8 days, it's slowing down, and then it gets in that notch and it just sits there. Well, on the flank of Sugarloaf. Parallel walls for a minute here. Somebody conjectured that these parallel walls are a rendition of a hill, the top of the hill. And I think I only did one, and I did it real fast, I don't care. I just wanted to put this thought out there, it's just a thought, that maybe these things are a mirror of the hill itself, and it's pretty close. I mean, considering I didn't do a whole lot of work on it, it looks like that just a bit. There's another photograph of Sugarloaf. Very fun, from back in the day, when farmers actually flipped the dirt over a little bit. All right, here's the first summer standstill one. This is it's through the hole in this wall and through the little circle over there, which to me the circles are pictographs, we'll get to that. You're gonna see about 6 of these, not right now, but watch the fog. Watch what the light energy does to this fog when this thing peaks over the side. And this is not even a big one. Oh, Hopewell God's knocked it out of focus. But the fog just erupts when the sun comes over these hills. It had to have been magical for them, and a special event. There's some story that goes with it, I'm sure. And this is what you missed in there. When it went out of focus, we had a little face on there. It's like a friar with a little friar haircut around there. You get some eyeballs, you see it, the mouth, come on. All right, this is another one. This is the bottom one. This is from the edge. If you don't even have to walk anywhere to see this. You park at the back gate, walk up the hill, and that's the alignment. Look over there at Sugarloaf, and the sun comes up. It's like a 2-minute walk. Might get some ticks though. Again, the fog is magic. It's crazy. It erupts, it goes around a little bit, and then settles down and stops. Just that little bit of light energy. So to me, this is a pictograph of this. I don't know. This could also be a pictograph of the lunar thing way out on the Hopewell tail, but I haven't seen that. I haven't photographed that. So I'm just putting this out there that it could be a pictograph of these things. Looks pretty reasonable. All right, here's one that's probably new, and people probably tell me I'm an idiot or something, but I'm photographing over here on the terrace, right about here, probably. Through the walls, you can see the little walls here and here. We'll get some better photos of that. And the sunrise is over here. Oh, Mike, it's not in the middle. But it is kind of. We'll justify that in a minute. There's a better picture of it there. Beautiful morning. The sun just winking over the horizon. What was this? Oh, this is out of order. This goes with that other one. I usually record these. This is something interesting too. This is the predicted, like if you go on one of these sunrise sites, it'll tell you when the sun comes up, it'll tell you the angle it's coming up. So 0 degrees is where it is when it comes up. But to me, that is, like if you were standing on the beach and your toes had eyeballs in them, that's what you would see. At 0 degrees, when it's just peeking over the horizon, it would come up at 6:06. But I'm out here, we're at like some elevation, and this is even a higher elevation. So when I see it, it comes up around 6:20 at this particular spot. The altitude's 2 degrees, but it comes up at like 61, 60 degrees. So all these are about 2 degrees off. You can't go out there and calculate a 58-degree sunrise. Almost all of them are some variation of 2 degrees off. Anyway, what's this one? What happened? Oh, this is the one down the walls. The walls are here and here. Anytime. camera is running by itself. But the fog and the light, the things going on with those, just make it so much more, dramatic, so much more mystical. So here we go. We got the walls. I already showed you this. Right there in the middle. This is what it looks like. This is a long exposure before the sun came up. Got a little deer hanging out there. I'm wondering what I'm doing. The sun's going to come up in this little spot right here. So the reason why we can't see it is because that railroad we talked about is coming across here somewhere. I just put the railroad in there randomly. There's actually a natural hole here, one of those little low valley thingies. Plus, there's been like an artificial road put in there. Part of that, there's a little uphill going off, like if you come in front of the, like the little visitor thing up there on the hill, when you're heading north, there's a little ramp that goes up there. And when I made this slide, I didn't know what that looked like in there. I wasn't really sure. I know the railroad was in there, but I didn't know if that trackway where the tractor is came into play. But I just stumbled on this when I was making the show. You can see how the railroad has blocked these portals, or whatever you want to call them. And this is the one we're looking through on that up the wall standstill rise. You can see how high the railroad is. So really the sun could come up. You could see it come through there in the real world. Probably, maybe. Just conjecture. If you want to take the railroad away, we can do that. This is on the other side of the railroad, and we've seen this before. There was a gravel pit over there. I just wanted to show that on the other side of the railroad, it's even higher. This tailings out of the gravel pit. But it's got this really fun-looking thing in here, and I'm like, oh, is it glacial? Is it some archaeology? What is it? Was there a farmstead there at one time that burnt down? Well, I know there's a road there somewhere, so I had to go. Dr. Bowen tells me I have to disprove all my stuff before I can accept it as some kind of fact. There's another shot of that. See, this is the road. I was worried this road, all these roads are gone. There's like 3 or 4 crossings down through there. They upgraded the railroad at one time. They got rid of the double track, put a single track in, and they made one common entrance down at that end, which you're probably familiar with. So I went out looking for the road. I found the road. The cable's still there across it, blocking it. The cable's over here. This is where this used to be. All this has slumped off in the last year or two since I've been there. It's all gone. It may be there. I didn't dig through it. I'm tick phobic nowadays. This is on the other side of the pit. So whatever it is, it continues through the pit. And we get the same thing. It's like a layer of gravel in there. There's crazy orange colors and organic material and stuff. This is a close-up of it. So that's more organic stuff. This layer of gravel, it's got to be a glacial thing. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, back to this is what the parallel walls shoot at. That's what they're aimed at. This is a real 240 rise. That's the winter sunset. So it's sunset, not a rise. So in theory, if those walls were aligned to that, we'd move all these arrows over here. But we have some really clear markers here. We got the tower, we got these little divots up here where the trees are. Even without leaves, we can mark those things. This is what it looks like. There's the wall here, here's a wall. We can see where all those arrows line up. The sun came up way over there. Those walls aren't aligned to a sunset. I guarantee that. This is what it looks like in the top view. There's the tower, the pivot for this irrigation arm, and that fence post. I photographed from back here when I'm photographing that, over there by the circle. So I debunked that. I claim somebody should rewrite. Do people think that that's a sunset one?
Yeah.
Forever and ever. Because people only went out there in the afternoon and didn't get up at 6 a.m. and go watch it. So I'm pretty confident that this is not a winter sunset. It's a summer sunrise. And you could be up here on this hill, see the sunrise, take off when I was younger. I could run across Union Oda in that park, or the prison, cross the river and run across the Bex fields and be up there and see it come up again. I swear to God, that would be bizarro to see it come up twice in one day. And you could have a bunch of people over here, just, see it come up, raise hell, take off. And by the time you got over there, everybody else would be celebrating it. If that's what they used it for, who knows? It could have been a deer pen, or maybe they raised rabbits in there or something. So this is the recap there. You saw where it all lines up. I'm not crazy. That sun is way off. And this thing is not set at 240, it's set at 238. Like the real sunrise that we see on those little boxes I have, this thing's going to continue down here until it reaches sea level. No, there's a little, we don't need that again. All right, we're going to take a break from the two rises. We had 58, well, that's just 58 we did. So these are some fun things we see out there that they would have seen out there probably. This was January 1st. Sugarloaf is right here. This is from that earlier shot. I was in that bean field where the tail of Sugarloaf was. You can see the sunspots on there. Gary told me I was crazy and they were stupid birds. So it could be stuff on my camera lens. I'm going to tell you that. My cameras are old. And you will see stuff that's inside the camera lens on some of these photos. Ghost clouds. This is the most bizarro thing I've seen. When I'm out there, I'm, so I'm kind of looking east, watching the hill, but to actually see when it's coming up, I can look at the hill behind me on the other side, the river, and I can see it come down that hill and know that I'm getting ready to shoot it. I turned around and spun, and these things were coming across the beaver pond, and it was bizarre. And it's like you could reach them. The sun's not on these yet. The sun hadn't reached them, but you can see, there's light on them, obviously, but you can see there's no sun in the field yet. This is before the sun is shown on us. This is after they moved on the circle. The sun's on them, but the sun's not on us down here yet. It gives you an idea of how the light comes down the hills and stuff. It was like you could go over and just touch it. It looked like cotton candy floating through the air. It was incredible. And I already had the video camera set up, so I couldn't get video. It was so fun to see him go. This is a solar flare.
Oh, yeah.
These are just fun too. I just saw one last week, but I was walking someplace and it really wasn't relevant, so I didn't photograph it. It was just above some trees. It was just out there in space. So this thing just goes across the hills and down here to where the sun comes up. Unfortunately, again, I couldn't get the video camera to work. It has a little thing where you gotta flip the mirror up, and then you gotta look at the screen. That little arm wouldn't reset. So at least I had the still camera, got some stills of it. This is the portal to hell across Benton County. Sorry if you live in Benton County. These are two cloud decks. We got a low cloud deck, we got a little bit higher one, and somewhere out there in that yellow, it's probably open sky. And I was just hoping, a possibility that sun would pop through that hole. It would have been incredible, but it didn't do it. These are discs in the woods. You tell me that disc is not sitting there in that woods, getting ready to set those trees on fire. It just looks like it's popping out of the ground. It's in the woods. Tell me it's not in the woods. That one's definitely in the woods. You can't argue with that one.
You're right.
It's in there. Look at those trees. There's trees behind it. There's nothing in front of it. It's got to be in the woods. Saw the aurora from out there. I was down by the square. They would have seen these things. These are all things that they would have seen. It would have been part of their lore, part of their religion, part of their culture. They would have had incredible stories about this stuff. Fog. You've seen fog already in a couple rises. The earthworks is in a low spot. Like on the terrace, it's a little bit higher, then you go down in it, and fog just builds in there. And then, of course, we come back up. The railroad is probably not doing us any favors. It's probably trapping a lot of that fog in there. But the fog will roll out of this, on the other side of that railroad track, sometimes the fog will roll out of there, which is pretty cool. More fog. That's from the road looking kind of northward towards the circle. You can see how the fog hangs down in there. I'm sure a lot of mornings when you're out there digging, it's wet, wet, wet. Hopewell people were wet all the time. I'm going to tell you, if you go out here in the morning, all summer long, you're just soaked constantly. There's our interpreted mowing that has been reduced to one deck width of a mower, which makes it, I don't mind all the stuff in there. That looks pretty, I mean, it makes a good photo when you're back away from it, but the one deck thing isn't working. This is what I am curious about the fog. You can see the walls here. Can you imagine like an 8-foot wall or whatever, 10-foot wall or whatever it was, they would have been poking up through the fog and how cool that would have looked? That'd be an incredible thing to see. Incredible stories. Especially if you're coming through here with like some fire or something. It'd be just bizarre. It'd be so spiritual and moving. And the bad thing about the photo is this stuff's all moving. It's not just sitting down there in that hole. It's moving and undulating, and the light is just getting on some of it over here. I'm still in the shadows here, so it started to go nuts. You can see some of it actually rising up. This is a sunrise at Seip. I'm talking about light again, coming down. Like this is what I saw at Hopeton. When I'm looking at the hill on the west side to see how close I am to sunset, watch the light come down the hill. Watch it illuminate the foreground when it does come across there. This day was kind of hazy, so it's kind of confused. It's not as dramatic as, I got another shot here where I got there late. But I think they've been aware of all this stuff. It's a special setting here. Watch the trees light up. Bang, the house lights up. It's gonna come to me across there, light up the little grass things. It's an incredible thing. To go out there and watch these sunrises and see this. I mean, obviously this is fast forward. We're gonna get to this in a minute. It's fast forward, but you can be aware of it. You can slowly see those hills illuminate. And you know that just any minute now, the sun's gonna pop over the hill back there. This was a little faster, it was a little clearer that day, but like I said, I got there a little late. Sprinting across the unmowed grass. But you can really see that shade. It's not shadow, it's a shade, I think. Maybe it is a shadow, now that I think about it. House lit up, everything else lit up. Bang. Here's a mound. And I'm gonna hit play, watch back here. You can see the shadow coming down the hill, or the shade. And then all of a sudden the mound lights up, the foreground lights up. Very fun, I'm right here. I'm into the shadows at these places too. I don't know if they had a bunch of posts up or whether there were trees or other things they had out there, but they would cast shadows across these.
And what about their own shadows too, Mike?
I can't hear, I'm old.
And what about their own shadows?
Their own shadows? Shadows, I mean, anything, you know? What did that shadow mean to them, you know? That's crazy stuff. Shadows appear on it, thing lights up, the foreground lights up. That's all part of the mystery, part of the allure of it, I think, that we just don't even think about this stuff. So I guess the point is, go out there and watch some of these.
What was the rattling sound?
What's the noise?
Was that wind?
That's the Hopewell gods, I think. What it is, a lot of it, it depends. Some of it's car noise. It's 20 times fast forward. Some of it's car noise. Sometimes I'm taking still photos at the same time, and I'm bracketing, so I'm taking like maybe 8 exposures of one shot or whatever you want to call
So
it.
those cars blazing by were not students late for school?
Yeah, they were not going to Paint Valley. It was the parents getting home. They dropped their kids off. This is the weather in Ohio. This is why it's so dicey to go out there. I mean, December's the cloudiest month in Ohio, at least it used to be, God only knows now. But this is typical, you know, like how many suns do we have? We have one good sun right there. But in Ohio in general, or at least around here, you have a 1 in 5 chance of seeing any of these things. So any day that you think you're gonna go out there on the 21st of December and see a sunrise, 20% chance of seeing that thing. And that's why I'm kind of out on the 128, lunar maximum, or, the moon's at 128 all the time, we'll talk about moons. It was just at 128 2 months in a row, for like 5 days, I saw it once. So if you have a 1 in 5 chance of seeing any day, and you have to wait 19 years to see something, I'm not saying they didn't, I'm not saying cultures didn't, but you're pretty slim here in Ohio of seeing that 1 in 19 year maximum MoonRise. All right, what are we doing? We're gonna do back to major alignments. I guess we're going to the 120 one, which is the blue line here between Mount Ives and Bunker Hill. This is probably one of the first ones, not this particular photo, but this is one of the first ones. I'm not going over a bunch of 120s. This one just seems like in cement. It's a good, I can draw other lines on here through the circle, and maybe, I think there's a hole there somewhere. But generally, what did they use the damn circle for? We just pay attention to these squares constantly. The circle will align to anything. You could put some posts around the thing and be Stonehenge or Woodhenge or whatever you want to call it. Their circles are beautiful. I look at the LiDAR of those circles, and they're just, all of them are really nice circles. Maybe not all of them, but the ones I look at. So 120, through the portal here, through the portal in the corner over here. And this time we're going to look at some back sites. I'm about ready to pass out. But you see, this winter standstill is 26 days. It's in that hole for 26 days. But you'll notice on the other end, it's shorter. It's about the same number of days for both standstills, but it slows down a little bit faster when it's coming into the winter standstill. But you get all these days to go out there and see it. So 1 in 5, you should be able to see it 3 or 4 times, and that's about what I saw this year. I started a little bit late. All right, what do we got? This is from in the earthworks, in the wall. It's coming out of the woods. It is. Are there cultures that say it comes out of the ground? Dr. Arthur's right. You're the history guy in Greek and Roman time. It looks like it comes right out of the ground.
We say hell is in the ground, and it's coming out of there.
What's it doing?
Well, I say hell is in the ground, right?
So it's coming. Do they know that it's hot? I mean, we could feel the heat, but do they know? I don't know. It didn't catch any of the trees on fire on the way up. All right, I need to edit it. We can move on to the next one. I did edit it. Now I move back. This is what we call a back site. And this is like Dr. Robert Horn and his buddy Dr. Hively and Nomi. I got to talk to them when I was like 50 or something like that. And he got me onto, Dr. Horn got me onto back sites, which are way more interesting to look at. You saw that thing when we were looking from here, came up in the woods, the trees and things are in the way. It wasn't as exciting as a back site. So here's the little road, there's a little spruce tree over here, there's a couple of nice elms over here. This is where a house used to be, like a big block house, I think. But the gravel pit took it away, and it's gone. This used to be the edge of the gravel pit, this fence line. They filled in a lot of it since the first time I went back there. So 14 degrees on this fine day. What's it come up at? What was the difference in the time? So this one, it came up like 12 minutes after the predicted time. And I'm way back, which makes a heck of a difference in the elevation or the angle I'm looking at it. I think we have real video. You're going to hear the camera go this time. You'll hear all these clicks as I'm bracketing. With my thumb, I'm changing the exposure or the shutter speed, one or the other. That's a shutter. It's like a 30-year-old camera. But I captured thousands of images. I throw away a lot of them. I'll keep the 2 or 3 that I think will edit the best, or it's best to underexpose it. That's how we get all these beautiful colors in the sky. If you overexpose it, you're toast. It's almost like shooting slides, if anybody remembers those things. You want to underexpose it a little bit. All right, enough of that one. That's what I carry with me. I carry 2 bags for the cameras, a backpack with a backpack frame with a couple tripods. That one's like 30 years old, weighs about 10,000 pounds. But it was a good tripod. That's what it looks like. Again, that house was back here by these elm trees. One of them fell down, unfortunately. All right, here's the 120. I think this is from this spot where I just showed you. It's more fun. The trees aren't in the way. Again, beautiful alignment. How good can I be? 26 days it's there. All you have to do is go out and look. I don't know what, sometimes that's wind noise going across there that makes that. All right, not that one. That's what it looked like. It's a still photo. That's one of those clicks you heard. That's beautiful. Right in the notch. Don't even think about it. And this is my interpretation. Once again, this is, to me, a pictograph of these things happening in the notch down there. Whether it's this notch, or we're going to talk about another notch in a minute, which is probably another controversy or craziness on my part.
So Michael, you're not saying this specifically. Are you saying that the circle represents the sun?
I'm saying that the sun is the circle.
Yes.
Or we could call it a moon.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might want to call the other one the moon because it's smaller, but those are optical illusions that we think that we see the sun on the horizon, we think how big it looks. We look up here in the sky and it looks so teeny tiny. It's the same size. It's just that there's no reference point up there to see the size of the sun. So if it's coming up in the notch, it looks bigger than when it's coming up over the tail of Sugarloaf. All right, here's the back site. This is over on 207 Lowry Lane. Again, we're going right here to the little gap. Very fun. You're gonna hear some wacky stuff in the background now because everybody's going to work. 32 degrees today. This is only a 7-minute difference here from the predicted to the actual rise. Sometimes I'm talking in the background too, and you'll hear me. Like when I'm recording the thing's just recording at regular speed, and sometimes I'll call out the time, like 7:57, so I never listen to it, but someday somebody might want to know what it came up. This is a very persistent pattern in the winter, these low clouds. You'll see why they're problems. Oh, me again.
Well, here we are on the wonderful midpoint of the standstill, which pagans.
Look at the sky. Nothing except over there.
Here, I'm tired of people showing up on the 21st and talking about the solstice when the sun's been in this hole for 10 days at least. So, unfortunately, from here at the wonderful back site, the back site, we're having, the 4th time we're having these low clouds over to the east, which are going to prevent having a nice disk here. So, I'm very sad. If we're in the same weather pattern forever, we might see a flare or something over there, which would be kind of cool. But I don't think we're going to see a nice disk. So we'll try to adjust the exposure so we can kind of see a disk as it comes up.
Now those would sound really cool and fast forward when the cars go by.
We're at 207 in Lowry Lane this morning. It's a cool, you can just drive right up and get out of the car. It's not like you gotta walk for 10 minutes.
Yeah, you can drive up to this. It's like going to a drive-in movie.
See this, I mean, it's beautiful. It's a great place.
Anybody live out there?
Any sunrise.
No.
So.
There's about 3 or 4 houses back there.
Bed, watch get out in the morning. I hate it. So we're almost ready. Let's see what happens.
The sky, there's not a cloud in the sky except for what I'm looking. Those little clouds are gonna creep across there by the time it comes up. That's what it looks like. Listen to this. I don't hear any cars.
The sun kind of just rolls up that other mountain, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the back of Mount Ives. It's a saddleback, so there's a bump on both ends of it. And so I've got boatload of them from over at Sugarloaf where it just looks like it's rolling up the side of the hill. Like, how in the heck? All right, I think I got another day of these same stupid cloud problem. You tell me if there's any difference from this rise to the next one. Enough of that. This day's a balmy 23 degrees. We got a bunch of chemical trails in the sky. Somebody's trying to do mind control on us. Oh, you haven't seen nothing yet. This day was pretty good at the surface, but once it gets up here, it just kind of disappears. Who would know the difference between this sunrise? I mean, these are day after day, maybe 2 days in between. It also looks like I'm panning out or something. That's the clouds moving. This day they're moving to the west, or east rather. Very fun. All right, so we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you a few moon rises. I'm not going to get into the moon rises, but I also want to talk about shadows again. See my shadow? I mean, we're still a little bit away from sunrise. There was so much atmosphere, my shadow was starting to dissipate. But on these full moons, if you want to know where the moon's going to come up, watch your shadow. It's going to tell me where the moon comes up. You can see my shadow pointing just on the right side or south side of that telephone pole. You can see where the moon comes up. My shadow is going to move a little bit more to the south because the sun is eventually, it's sliding to the north. So let's watch this. These are fun. 7 degrees on this day. Beautiful evening. Beautiful evening. I don't know why I stayed so long. That's probably like 15 minutes to get up there. That's what it looked like in a still.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
I didn't trust my shadow, so I had to move the camera. This is at 65 degrees, which is real close to the lunar minimum. That's the farthest or the least it goes north in some of these rotations. Sometimes it will go all the way out to 128, which we're going to see that in a minute, which is pretty fun. But those moon rises, you see the fog? This is in the valley behind those hills. We're looking to the west, obviously. The fog is just rolling through those low spots. It almost looks like hands on there grabbing the hill. Unfortunately, I got there late. And I had to walk across the park and along the edge of some guy's cornfield, whose corn was already like this high. I didn't get in the right spot. I was about 100 yards off, which really screwed up my prediction of where it was going to come up. But watch the fog roll down those hills. And then watch over here. This is my mistake. Oopsie. The big gap for the sunrise we just saw was over here. If I was in the right spot, it would come up in that little dip or close to that bump. All this stuff's aligned to something. There's some feature in these hills. Every one of these is aligned to something. It's not just random spots out there. All right, enough moon. These are daytime moons from out there when the sun's coming up. Obviously, the sun is over here on my side. That one was incredible. It was really cold that day and crisp and clear. Some of them are really cool. This one had this really magenta-looking wispy clouds. There's a fog day over here with the orange one, or yellow, whatever color that is. So the moons are out there too. I mean, my understanding is, and I haven't read too much about it, they had these calendar sticks and calendar discs and gorgets that are supposed to be calendars, and somehow, as the moon, or the sun's going back and forth in this timely fashion, and somehow the moon is going in this wankery thing every 28 days, that when they go out here to have a celebration or a holiday, it's based on that moon cycle, whether they're gonna set it, we have 28 days to have it in, or 26 days or whatever it is, but they're celebrating it on the moon cycle. They're not celebrating it on December 21st. They're not celebrating it on June 21st. It's something in relation to the moon cycle. So some of these things that we want to predict based on solstices and equinoxes and things like that, I'm not into that, but you can be. All right, 84, mid-transit. This is my conspiracy. We look at all these photos, we have all these alignments, and there's this gap right here. And nobody pays attention to this. You know, they call out this gap and this hole and this bump, and I'm like, what the heck? This has to be something. So I just download, I do a cut and paste of the topo map off Google Earth, put an 84-degree line on it through that thing, and I'm trying to figure out what are the lines with in the earthwork. And then, since I'm an imbecile, I tried to do this on a piece of paper, count backwards. So I went to December 8th, which is the first day of the winter standstill, count back 90 days. I went to the end of the winter standstill, count back 90 days. And of course I had to write it down because I would lose track. I can't do that in my head. I can't remember what the green numbers are, but those are my counts right there. You can see there's a 20-some day difference in those because the beginning and end is 26 days. So this is what I got. For 84 degrees, which is the 31st of March, so we got 84, 83, 82, somewhere in there is what I'm looking for. And that's what that gap is. Well, I'm going to show you where the gap is. But this is end of the standstill. I'm making a count. So their calendar, not calendar year, but maybe their celebration year or whatever, maybe starts at the end of the standstill. And that's what this is. It's right here between, what is that, Bald Hill and Sand Hill. And this is going to be the other one. I haven't done this one too much, so I don't exactly know where that is. But this is very close to where you guys dug a couple of years ago above the asphalt plant. It's right there in that corner. This is like 84 for me. 83 or 82 is probably a fun place to look at it. Somewhere in here is where it is. Obviously part of it's gone. But this is where I'm photographing the gravel pit. And what it does, it's through the hole in this side of the circle and on this side of that little circle, or on the square, there's a hole, a portal, gateway, whatever you want to call it. And the 96, again, is through the same one and on the other edge of the circle. And that goes with the direction the sun's going at those time periods. So here's my view from down the gravel pit. You can see the circle. That's it, that brown spot right there. So I know the alignment is pretty close to where I should be if this were a real thing. This is my conjecture. It's not a law. It's just maybe something to think about. Here's day one from your spot where you dug. No joy that day. Day two was the portal to hell day. No joy that day. This is day three. Got to see our beaver friend for the first time. These are the mystery beavers at the Hopeton gravel pit. These guys at the park have been asking me about these things for years, and I've walked by the thing a billion times. Well, we get the beaver show.
Hey, Michael.
What?
One time I was out there, and there's a man that goes out there ritually, and he bathes with the beavers.
In there?
Yes.
Anybody had beaver fever?
Yes, beaver.
You don't want to be bathing with beavers. So there's day four. The sun actually did come up a little bit, so I know that I'm probably right where I need to be. Eventually, a couple more days passed. I mean, it was so bad I didn't even go. So I have to fake it. I moved over a little bit. I'm going to show you what it looks like, but I'm not in the right spot anymore. I moved over to where those barns are back there, right on the edge, like it's a big drop off to the beaver pond. I probably have it up top view of that. I don't know if this is a video or not. Oh, yeah. Watch the fog. Watch the shadows and light coming through these trees. It's insane. This is why you should own solar panels.
Yeah.
But that's what it looks like if it comes up at 83 or 82 or whatever. It is fake. I know if the sun's going that way, I have to move this way to fake it. Don't tell anybody it's fake, we'll just pretend like it's real. That's what it looks like. Again, we got a nice notch with a disc in the middle of it. It looks familiar from the wall of the Hopeton Earthworks. That's not as much fun as the video. All right, this shows you, this is from another thing, but I thought I'd throw it in here. You can see I was off like the first 4 days. That's how far that sun would move. So it's not going to sit there and wait for me in this time. If this is some kind of celebration for him, it could be as it crossed this whole thing from 84 to 96. So that would give you like a couple-week window to decide when you're going to celebrate this stuff. But I'm wagering this is very important to him. This is actually an equinox I shot across the circle, I think. I can't remember what that was. It's in the woods. All right, this is a 96 degree, or 96, yeah, 96 degree. Balmy 34 degrees on this day, no beavers, beautiful cloud. It's incredible. The only cloud in the sky is right there in my view. So again, we're over here. The fake shot was right here from the edge of this thing. So that's how far I had to move to get this fake sunrise. So we're about halfway down the barn there. And this one, I'm not so sure about it yet. I haven't been to it to get the alignment exact. I think I can see the circle from up there and get it okay. But this time it's going to be this little guy. The circle's in here somewhere. Actually, it might be right here. There it goes. I love the clouds. It's another notch. It's another, like, hands of God around the sun. Very fun. Those noises are probably the camera. There's a still of it in the notch, please. Got birds on cue. Here's, the beavers. They've been asking me about beavers. I'm looking at the satellite imagery and I'm looking like, why did the gravel pit cut down all these trees? And you can just see there are trees laying everywhere. Then they started asking me about the beavers, and one time I'm going to walk down there and look, see if I see any beavers. And this was from last winter. I mean, I already knew they were there. There's their den. That's across the pond from where I was photographing. So that's a boatload of sticks. I mean, those things aren't small. And this is what they did last winter. They have more than this, but those were very fun. That's a lot of work for a little critter like that big. All right, here's some video of them. This is at night. Now, I'm not making an excuse here, but this is nighttime, holding the camera, 2-3 pairs of glasses on, trying to watch the video monitor, and I have to focus by hand because it's so dark. So that's my excuse. They're very curious. They come around, they look at me, they swim back and forth. This is the moon. The moon has already come up. That's how dark it is. Very fun. This one's going to do a little show for us, maybe. I think they try to get me to react to it somehow, because he comes back and looks at me. What's up? He just swam around there for quite a while. They're incredible animals. I've never seen them before in action. It's fun. It is fun. I'm sorry, I'm excited by the beavers. All right, we may have seen this already. I just put some, are we running way late? Have we heard enough already? All right. I forget what I talked about the last time I had these up here. These three images exist in the world somewhere. I don't know the relationship to them, who copied whom, or if they did, I'm assuming somebody drew it and everybody else copied it or something like that. But they all look astoundingly similar, but they're not the same. Like this one is a rock. This one is turned into like a leprechaun. And then this one turned into like a real man. So my question was, I think two things. Oh, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Where in the hell did these rocks go? Were they actually there at one time? Did the farmers move them? What happened? I think the railroad moved them actually, if they were there. So where are the rocks? Where'd they go? You might see all those mounds out there. We're gonna talk about those in a minute. That's where they should be. I mean, it could be an artist's misconception. He may have just seen these rocks, which are right next to that. And that's me on the rocks. And these rocks have a very similar shape to the rocks in the photo. He may have just taken artistic license and drew the rocks in over in the middle. Maybe they actually sat on these rocks before all these trees and things were here. And just use that. They're all there. The one rock's actually standing up, which is kind of cool, like this one. It's embedded in the ground, standing up about that high. It's about a meter. That's the big rock. So I like the rocks. I want Park Service to put the rocks back. I think it'd be cool. You could put the picture on a little plaque there on one of those little stands. That'd be very fun. People would take pictures with it, kind of like they're leprechauns. Now, the next conspiracy theory is, what the heck are these things? I mean, I know something's there. We can definitely see that. But somebody's taking artistic license with these again. Does this look familiar to anybody? Does this one look familiar to anybody after we've looked at all these hillsides? To me, whoever this artist is, or whether these were actually there or not, or what these hills are. This is Sugarloaf. You can see the tail of Sugarloaf. I mean, did the artist do this? Was it really there? You can see the knobs here. That's crazy. What do you think? Real or fake? Ancient alien conspiracies?
But, yeah.
Were they there? What was there? Anything? Something was there. Some little bumps or lumps or something. We don't know. What's it show up on, like geophysics and stuff? Nothing? Secret? Buried gold?
I'm not sure anybody's ever looked.
Nobody looked?
On the tops of those knobs. I don't think those have been surveyed.
Well, that's the end of this show. Hopefully I didn't jibber jabber too much. Hopefully I wasn't too incoherent. But this is just kind of for fun, but you know, you can draw these lines anywhere, you can make up anything you want. So we'll never know exactly what they were used for until they get that machine where they can take a rock and put it in there and read it like a laser disc. Someday we'll have that, but not today. You jam some rocks in your laser disc or CD player and see if you can get some images off of them. There's got to be images on there. The light has to interact with all these rocks and things we dig up. So there could be images, there could be sound on there from those sound waves bouncing off of it, but who knows? The point is, go out there and see this stuff for yourself. Enjoy it. You can go out here at 104 and 207, you can sit in your car like you're at the drive-in movie and watch it come up. Or you can go down to the park and park at the back gate and watch the summer one come up. And watch the fog go nuts. The fog is just intense. It's very fun. All right, thank you. Bye.